Good morning. Today on Customer States What? Customer States, I just got my water pump replaced at a garage, and now my car is overheating. While you're there, perform multi-point. Say no more. Well, I can tell you this much, guys. The coolant overflow tank, it's bone dry. Shrek, not here today. Very good. Feifel, I don't see any Feifel activity, but we didn't get that engine cover off yet. Not for nothing. Let's take this cap off. Let's take this cap off and see nothing in there. Do we have any Feifel activity, ladies and gentlemen? Let's find out. Yes, we do. Yes, we in fact do, ladies and gentlemen. We have some Feifel activity, and he's a little itty bitty guy. Look at the size of those poops. They're so small. Well, yeah, I can tell you they just got a water pump done. And looks like it's a little wet. Looks like we got our first Toyota wah-wop action. But I think it's a Goomba activated wah-wop. Let's do a cooling system pressure test and find out what's pissing. Here we have our cooling system pressure tester. Of course, it's snap on. Get our Toyota attachment. We're gonna hook it up. Very good. Some cars you may have to pinch off the hose that goes to the overflow tank. We're gonna pinch this hose off with a pair of coolant hose pinchers. Let's make sure the tool's are right. There we go. Then we're going to pump her up. Giggity. Oh, I immediately hear something. Yep. Oh, would you look at that? A Goomba made a Goomba move. Alright, let's see how much pressure I can get into this before it pisses out. You could hear it. You could hear it pissing. You could hear it. Well, now I can't because the freaking somebody's working the tire machine. You know what? I think we're gonna have to put some water in the system because it's just leaking air. And I could see the water pump's wet, but all I can hear is air and I don't see any fluid out, so freaking coolant had to piss out on them. Damn, and they said they overheated this to the H. I hope this engine's still good. But you know what, for testing purposes, I'm going to fill this cooling system with water and see where it's pissing from, guys. But yeah, let's look at this gauge real quick. I did pump it to about 15 psi and it's slowly going down. Ugh. Alright, let's see what the Goomba did. Now we got our anti-spill funnel full of water. Let's get a vortex going, guys. Let's see. I know this thing was dry and I already filled it once. Let's see how dry it actually is. Oh, as the wrench turns. hear it, guys? Oh, it stopped. That means the fluid made its way to the hole. Giggity. And it's probably dribbling out right now. So, we're going to do the pressure test again and see where it's going to squirt out from. Alright. So we have the system under pressure, and we're losing pressure, guys. Now, yep, it's losing pressure under pressure. You guys can see that steady stream. Let's see, this footage might get a little weird, guys, so camera might go a little willy wonky on us. But let's get in there. Let's see if you can see it. Can I get the camera up in here? Oh yeah, there we go. There we go, let's see. Nope, not there.
If I could at least one in, I'm proud of myself.
You see that stream right there? You see the fluid pissing right there? There's 2 O-rings behind the water pump. And if you roll one of those O-rings, that's going to happen.
At least somebody will be proud of you.
You're going to have a bad day. So now the whole job has to get done all over again and done correctly. Wonderful. So now that we took it up top to drain the coolant, looks like this guy left me a little gift right here to drain the coolant. He has a little hose right here on the pet yak. You got a little nubby right there. Thank you. It's going to direct the coolant right into my bucket. Very nice.
Or maybe at the yak.
Oh man, look at that. They even left me a hose clamp. Very good. It's going to drain right into my bucket now. So let's get hands on that petcock. Giggity. And let's start draining. Very good. I have the sudden sensation that I have to go tinkle. Very good. Let's let that drain and continue the repair. Alright, so we got the trim out of here so we could expose the drive belt and one of the engine mounts on the passenger side. And here's our water pump. It's brand new. Something's leaking, so we got to take it back out. So what I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show you a very valuable trick into doing these water pumps. So what we got to do here is we got to take this nut out right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to lift the engine up to gain access to remove this water pump. Very good. Very good. And get this guy out. Another tip, guys, because this engine mount can be seized within the mount. Spray a little PB Blast or X-Force or whatever you got and give it a couple of shots. That should free it up. Okay guys, next tip of the video. Always break the water pump bolts to the pulley free while the belt is still attached. That way you can actually break them free and not struggle. If you do struggle, then you're gonna have to put like a screwdriver in between the bolts in a cross pattern, hold it, and then crack a bolt free. So yeah, once you get all those bolts free, just break them free a little bit and then take the belt off. As you can hear, I work with children. And then you can get the pulley off. So now that we have the belt off and the pulley bolt out, you see now we can't get the pulley out. Can you get the pulley out from the bottom? Can't get it out from the top. Digging it? So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to tilt the motor. I'm gonna show you the trick, guys. So you know what? We're gonna get the customer states what? Special tool and the special tool attachment. Now this is a very valuable tool, guys. You just gotta put it on the ground like so. Put it there. It's also a seat, but it's also an engine support. Let's get into it. In order to tilt the engine, you have to remove this dog bone mount. We're also going to remove this mount right here because we want all the clearance we can get while working on the water pump. So yeah, let's get that out. Come on. There we go. Now remember, this little washer, guys, this little rubber guy, is on the inside. Inside of the engine. And of course, always stay organized. It'll make it that much easier. I like to break all those by free first. Oh, that's really loose. What the hell? That's an engine mount. Come on. That is super loose. Giggity. It's not the looseness you want, guys, really. Good thing that hit the ground. That should just lift right out. One. Oh, it's still in there. Oh, that one too. There we go. Very good. So now that we have the customer states what special tool ready and in place, we're going to lower the vehicle, and if everything goes well, the engine will be tilted up. Very good. Now that should give us enough room. Oh, nope, not enough. Not yet. So as you saw, guys, the engine did not go up all the way because I made a slight Goomba move. I forgot to undo this mount over here as well. So now that we took these bolts out here, we should get the articulation we need. So let's try it again. Alright guys, let's try this again. Let's see how far we can go. There we go. I believe that's all the room we need. But you know what? We can get a little more. Alright, we'll stop right there. Now, we gained about 2.5 inches. We all could use a 2.5 inches more. That is a giggity, guys. Alright, now we can get that pulley out and we can get that water pump out. What do you say? Let's continue. Let's give the engine just a little pry. Yeah, just a little pry just to get another millimeter, and we got the pulley out.
That's what I was thinking.
Very good.
Very positive.
So guys, we have to take the thermostat assembly out next.
We like carry this fucking company. The backbone of this business. So why don't we pay them? Let's go. Ask for more. Yeah. I mean, if they can afford a shot, I mean, if they can afford it. They can afford, $1
Oh, there's one right there.
You should get paid more if you work more.
Very good. Well, mount is out. Now, I believe my leak is coming from right here. From right there. What do you think, guys? Now that we have all this out of the way, we could probably pressure test it again and see where it's pissing from. You know what? Not for nothing, I'm going to pressure test it again. Let's see where that leak is coming from. Okay, so we're going to pressure test that. Technician B, pump her up. Yep, it's shooting right out that O-ring. It's shooting out right here. Yep. Goomba either rolled the O-ring, pinched it, or it may not even be there. Alright, let's get it out. Alright, so now we're gonna get that thermostat out. There's 3 bolts holding it. Well, I should actually say 2 bolts and 1 nut. Giggity. Well, let's get the nut out first. There's 1. Here is 2. We also got to get that hose clamp off, guys. Come on, get on there. Did I break it free? Right? There we go. So guys, what do you think? You think the O-ring is rolled, pinch, kink, damage? Is it even there? I don't know. I can tell you this much, something ain't going on right that shouldn't be going. Come on. Oh, did they cross-thread this in? I really hope not. Okay, no, they didn't. Good. Good, 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 good. All right, let's get the hose clamp off in that hose. These are hose clamp pliers. As you can see, they're grooved here, they're grooved here, they're grooved here, and they're grooved here. Very good tool to use. You know what? I actually don't think we need to take that off, because it is a rubber hose and it is maneuverable. So you know what? Let's. All right, there we go. All right, the O-ring is there. you know, let's take this out for more room anyway. Let's get it out of there. Very good. Yeah, they just had this apart, so this, yep, comes right out. Just push it off to the side a little bit. Now we can see everything we need to see. We have our water pump right here. We have an O-ring that you replace, and we have an O-ring that you replace here. And look, I think the O-ring is busted on the bottom. Oh, what is that? Is that fibbage? Look, yeah, there was debris. Debris right there. And there is a break in the O-ring. There is, let's see if I can zoom in on that, guys. Let's see if we can get in on that. Look, besides the debris, look at that break in the O-ring right there. That right there caused this entire leak. Wonderful. And I'll show you what to do to avoid that from happening. So let's go to the parts department and let's hope, let's pray to God that they have this O-ring in stock. Now where the O-ring went into is right here. Just in case, just give it a quick clean. Just give it a quick clean, any debris that is in there or any corrosion that has built up. Don't forget to clean your hole, guys. Just stick it in and, you know what I mean? Make sure it's clean before inserting anything. Giggity. So I know I may get a little bit of crap for this, but whenever I'm using O-rings or reinstalling stuff, I always put a little bit of dielectric grease in the hole that the O-ring is getting into. You never want to go into a dry hole, guys. Yes, that is a giggity. So I'd put a little bit of lube there. And we also just put a little bit on the O-ring. Now people will use different things. They'll use silicone spray, they'll use a little bit of dielectric grease. You could even use a little bit of coolant. Just wet the O-ring up a little bit and you'll be good. But me, I like to use dielectric grease because it just eases the installation. Alright, let's get the thermostat assembly in. Come on, get in there. You know you want to go in. Get the hose on first. Yep. And then make sure not to pinch that O-ring again. It should be good. We'll put the hardware in and we'll actually fill the cooling system as is, and we'll pressure test everything with the pulley off, and we'll be able to see if it's leaking or not. We're going to double check our work, unlike the Jamoke who did the repair last time. They didn't double check their work. That's another tip, guys. That's probably the biggest tip of all I can give you, Giggity. Always double check your work, Goombas. Alright, so we're ready to do the backfill of the coolant system. Let's get the special tool out. Alright, let's set this up, guys. We got our coolant reservoir right here full of brand new coolant. We're going to put the coolant in. Oh yeah, we got the aerial view, guys. Let's do this. I don't know if it's upside down or not, so what we got to do is we got to prime our hose first, Giggity. So our valve right here, you got it open about halfway. Hit your trigger right here. See that? We're all primed up. Now our petcock is closed. Our hose right here is pinched off. Now we're going to put the entire cooling system under vacuum, as you can see here. Now if you don't prime this, when you hit this lever, the first thing that's going to go into the cooling system is going to be a big ass pocket of air. You don't want that. So whenever you use a vac fill like this, always prime your hose first. That's another tip, guys. Always prime your hose. And like this, you can just stop and the vacuum stays. This is also a leak test right here. If you start to lose vacuum, you know you may have an issue. So as we can see, we're not losing vacuum, so let's try and get as much vacuum in there as possible. Another tip I like to do, guys, whenever you can, give any of the coolant hoses a quick squeeze to try and collapse them. Because that'll just aid the system to go under vacuum. Alright, very good. We've reached the maximum output of vacuum. We'll disconnect this right here. And now we're going to flip the lever, guys. We're going to fill this cooling system. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Another tip, guys, have your reservoir above, right where you're working, above the radiator cap. So now we're filling it up.
Come on.
Very good, guys. We're filling it up. And then after this, we're going to do a bleed. And I'll show you how to do a bleed in this. There's a little trick as well. Alright, now we're down to nothing here. Very good, guys. Now up to the next step. And not like a Goomba, guys. I'm double checking my work. We're gonna set it up to, let's see, it should say on the cap, 108 kPa. So we're gonna set it to roughly 15 pounds. And we're gonna let it sit for a couple of minutes, maybe about 5-10 minutes. Hopefully when I come back, that's still gonna be roughly around 15 psi or 108 kPa. Alright guys, let's let this sit. I'm gonna go get something to drink and go take a walk. What do you say? Alright, very good, guys. Very good. We are holding pressure at 15 psi. We have successfully checked our work. So now we know for a fact that this repair has been done properly and has been double checked. You know what? That's lunch. Everything's put back together in the passenger side front fender area. Belt is on. We've already cleaned everything. We're just going to give it a quick wipe down, put the wheel back on, and then we're going to bleed the cooling system. So now that we have the vehicle running and bleeding, there is a bleed screw down here that is a 10mm. And what we have here is we have a bleeder hose that goes right into my anti-spill funnel, and we are bleeding the cooling system. So now once the bleed process is finished and all the air is now bled out the system, you have the little bleeder valve in the coolant, or a bleeder hose in the coolant, and now there is no more air in the system. Very good, guys. Job complete. It's at normal operating temperature. It's staying at normal operating temperature. We're going to give it a quick post-repair road test and send them on their way. So thank you, guys. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for further content.
Like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification for further notifications.